Chase Davis and Garen Caulfield.
Well, Chase, we asked Chip about just kind of dealing with all of the expectations that are on you, specifically this year when you appear on all these All-American lists and your name is mentioned in the draft. How are you trying to kind of handle that process, all of that stuff?
Well, I believe every single step, and I go day at a time. I'm really slow with things. You know, I'm not the only guy on this team. There's many of us that could do just as equal a job, and if not better. So my job is to be the best teammate I can on and off the field, and really do anything I could do to help my team win, whether that's on offense, defense, or in the clubhouse.
Do you pay attention to any of those things when you see your name pop up on a preseason All-America list or projected to be a high draft pick?
Obviously, I think the recognition is really cool, but at the end of the day, I'm still playing college baseball, and that's where I am now, and that's where I want to be with the guys each and every single day. So day in and day out, it's baseball, baseball, baseball until further notice.
One thing that probably would be, assuming different for you this year is without having some of the older guys that have moved on, Tanner, Daniel, and all that, that you may have to take on a little bit more of a leadership role. Are you seeing that so far, that the younger guys are turning to you?
I don't see any holes in leadership roles with anyone, really. Would consider myself a leader on the team as well as many others. I'm not the only guy, like I said. So I even turn to the younger guys sometimes and older guys for advice too, which happens more times than not. So whether you call me a leader, that's awesome. But I do feel like many guys, just like everyone else on the team, have the same job to be a leader.
Garen, this time a year ago, I mean, you were still fairly new to the program, showing up in the fall and all that. How much has it been different, do you think, this offseason compared to the last one, just for the entire program?
I think it's quite similar, actually. I mean, Chip's kind of the same guy this year, and having a new group of guys, it's been the same, really, and it's been good having the new guys here, and we miss those old guys, but we're kind of focused on this year and who we have in the clubhouse now, and I think we got a good group, so it's good.
Garen, how would you describe your comfort level with this level of college baseball, given that you now have a full season under your belt, whereas last year you were coming off a lot of time off?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty comfortable, and I feel like I've made the adjustment last year. I played a lot last year, so I think just getting that experience is really good, and I'm just looking to build off that this year with these guys. So.
Is there anything about your game that you've tried more than others to improve on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Chip especially after last year, Chip put a really big emphasis on being a little bit better defensively, and that's not just an emphasis for me. That's for really the whole team. And I feel like we got a good group of guys in the infield this year, and in the outfield as well with CD kind of at the throne there. And I feel like we're going to be a much better all-around team. So.
Chase, what do you think you've had to improve the most on during this offseason?
I would say just kind of getting my head right for this upcoming season, my third year here. I think there was many things that I wanted to obviously get better at day in and day out, but I felt like over the fall there were more baseball related things that I wanted to work on, and whether that's different improvements in the box or in the cages or during games, I think that's something that I really worked on and slowed the game down to be able to prepare myself for this next upcoming year.
And Chip had mentioned before that you came to Arizona with a strong reputation, but had to basically sit that first year because there were guys in front of you and all that, wait your turn. With a lot of the young guys, particularly position players, that may have to do the same thing this year, what do you say to them, like as far as being patient?
I would say take each and every single chance you can get to learn and talk to the older guys and be able to kind of figure out how fast and slow this game can move, and take it as a learning opportunity, because it's easy for one to throw a fit and stay in a corner and be upset that they're not maybe playing as much as they want to. But I feel like that's the biggest opportunity for someone to get to learn and watch the older guys and be able to increment and involve those kind of things their next year.
Did you get frustrated at all as a freshman for not playing much?
I looked at it as an opportunity to be able to grow and get better. Whether I felt like I should have been playing or not, that doesn't matter. I feel like I was on one of the best teams in the country at the time, and I just wanted to be the biggest supporter there and the first guy off the front step after someone does something good or picking up a teammate. So I feel like I had a huge role on that team at the time, and other guys at the time had an even bigger role.
When you have the kind of season that you had last year, it stands to reason that people are going to pitch you more carefully. How important is it to remain patient up at the plate and not expand your strike zone?
Super important because when you get those strikes, you got to capitalize. Whether you get one in at bat, two in at bat, three, four, you maybe none, maybe a 4-pitch walk. So I think every single chance I'm in the box, every single time there is a pitch in the zone that I know I can hammer, obviously do my job. But you may not get many strikes, but I understand what comes with that. So just being patient is the best thing I could do.
What was your guys' reaction when you found out you were playing Tennessee in a big game like this?
Man, just another very talented team, and it gives us an opportunity to be able to show what we could do and how far we've come ever since last year. And it should be a great matchup. I'm excited to play here in the desert at home with a whole bunch of great friends behind us, so it should be a good one.
Garen, I assume you're going to bat higher in the lineup this year than last year. How does that affect your approach, if at all?
No, I'm just going to try to be the same guy. You know, Chip's put a bunch of trust with me and hitting me higher in the order, and I've learned to grow a little bit more comfortable there. He's been hitting me there in the fall and throughout this. I like to call it spring training, but it's not really spring training. No, I'm not going to change who I am as a hitter. I'm just going to kind of go at it at bat by at bat and try to go about it that way. So.
You're in that middle infield group with Mason White, a freshman who we've heard a lot about already. What are your impressions of him as a player?
First thing I say about him is he's an awesome teammate, first of all. Also, he obviously has done really well this fall. I'm sure Chip talked about him. He's going to be really good for us, whether it be right away or next year or whatever. But I'm assuming he's going to be a pretty good role player for us this year as well. So he's awesome and a great addition to Arizona. You guys will love him.
Who, for both of you, who's the pitcher who has given you the most trouble during the intra-squads?
For me, it's kind of a couple guys, honestly. We got guys with really good stuff this year. But for me, it's got to be Tonko. He's thrown the ball really well for us this fall and in the spring so far. And I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed with his growth over the year.
What about Tonko makes him hard to hit?
I think just the way he's been able to attack hitters and stay in the strike zone. Last year it was a little bit different. He had some issues and finding the strike zone a bunch, but this year his command is a lot better, and I think he's added a couple pitches that might help here and there. So he's been really good.
How about you, Chase? Who's the one who bit you out the most?
I would say look out for Zastro, Braden Zastro. He's a dominant lefty that is a great addition to our program. I'm excited to see him pitch a lot of weekends here and there. And I would say over the fall, not only me, but he gave a lot of other people trouble as well. That's kind of why I'm speaking for them. But great left-handed arm and a lot of velo, a lot of off speed. So he mixes and moves here and there. So we're excited to see him go. Great addition.
What do you guys think about the new white uniforms?
I personally love them. I mean, I come from a junior college who wasn't privileged enough to have like that many uniforms and that nice stuff. So anytime we get something new or the new gear, I think it's awesome. So I think it's really cool that Chip, or I don't know who designed them or anything, but I think it's cool that we have the throwback kind of idea, and I think that's awesome because Chip's here now. So.
And I would agree. It's a fresh look. All white to be able to come off of pinstripes. Usually pinstripes is blue and red, but now to mix it up to maybe go white, blue, red would be really cool to see, and I'm excited to see those white uniforms on Friday.
Do you guys have pregame rituals?
It depends. Everyone's different. Some people like music. Some people like dancing before, which is me. I like even eating some food before, maybe a little pregame snack. But I would say everyone's different depending on the game and time.
Yeah, I would add. We're all pretty big MJ fans, and the whole Last Dance was super awesome, and we all loved it. And we kind of do the little game time who right before the game, and that kind of gets us locked in. So if you ever see that in the outfield, that's kind of what we're coming from.
Why did Last Dance bring you guys together, do you think?
It was funny. I think it was a tradition that started my first year, and Dante Williams and Holgate and all those guys out there in the outfield, they were huge on it, and they got all of us onto it as well. So now every time before the game, we all get into a huddle, and Tyler says, "What time is it?" And we all say game time, and then we all say "who" at the same time. So that was kind of our little thing, and we all go around in a circle naming which guys or which basketball players in that specific movie, and it's a little fun time we have.
Will the taco hat be back?
We don't know. I don't know. It depends. I don't know about the rules that they did with the
I think it
props.
has to stay in the dugout kind of thing.
Well, if that's the case, then
Well, if it's in the dugout, we will have
We will have
something. We're
something,
not sure if it's a taco hat yet or something, but we'll definitely have something.
we got to figure out some kind of celebration,
Yep.
right? So we'll,
When you watch Last dance, as you're, a leader of this team, what qualities or traits do you maybe take from a guy like Michael Jordan?
I would say just being able to rally guys at last minute when it really matters, whether it's off the bat, first pitch of the game, or in the bottom of the ninth at 10:30 at night. It doesn't matter when it is, or even off the field as well when no one else is watching, whether it's in the weight room or in the classroom. So I think traits that he has, a lot of people want to emulate and kind of follow up after. I think a leader to everyone is different. You could define that however you want to define it, but for me, I would say traits as far as picking people up when they're down and just being a team leader as much as I can to the best of my ability every chance I get.
Any more questions? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.